Are you an active member, or do you consider yourself an active member?
Well, I still am. Because, you know, in a way, of course, once we had the chapter done at Hanken, you know, I was kind of already gone in a way, so it really was just getting the stirring and getting it kind of underway. And as I said, the 1949 was kind of the culmination, and the thought was, of course, that I would be returning. But of course I never did. So I had, in a way, the exposure of the preliminary hands-on and seeing it through at the kind of European level, so to speak. But in the final analysis, pretty limited because it was a small organization, and I had, you could say, very selfishly, simply taken over a traineeship as my reward.
So how are you involved in creating the local chapter in Hanken, in the university?
Well, in no other way except that it came into existence as a result of the conference that had been now, you know, officially sanctioning ISEC as a common organization for the business schools that had been represented. Yeah. And so that's how it sort of worked itself into existence and has continued. And now you are, you know, kind of carrying on. And of course, one of the aspects that always is sensitive is, of course, is there a good finance guy who keeps track of the money? So I hope that you have somebody who is. Oh,
that's me.
I think that the organization can feel very lucky about having you involved. Though on the other hand, the biology major doesn't sound that convincing.
I mean, that's one of the big challenges people who are in ISEC face, is that most people are not business majors. They're in other schools, they're English, just like you were saying. But we open the opportunity to everyone because it still adds diversity and people can still find internships.
Exactly.
Our local president last year was have you ever met Dallas?
I might have.
Okay. She was a neurobiology major.
Oh, yeah.
And she's going to be a doctor.
And a dance minor.
Oh, yeah. But there you see again, you know, the representation is what makes, in a way, the chapter activities interesting.
That diversity.
Full of fun.
Yeah. So why do you think ISEC is important and relevant today? I mean, there's internet and communication and Skype and everything. Why would you need ISEC as another platform?
Well, it's just like the fact today is that anybody can actually travel somewhat inexpensively and go off to another country and be a tourist and come back and have, you know, great pictures and stories. But to be an ISEC trainee is to really be enjoying what the French call a super vacances, that you have a base, and from that base you are looking at your kind of local area, and you have a chance to really become involved and get to know people and get to see how they live and how they think. And that's a different experience than being a tourist who is doing the grand tour, you know, one day in each city or something like that. And so when I think of my own traineeship in Paris, it was a fantastic thing, you know, because you know, basically, of course, my fluency was very poor, you know, because you have to have the exposure to spoken language environment. But they were as friendly as they could be, and then in the process you suddenly realize that you are looking at different ways of dealing with the business organization. I had been, you know, for many summers at work in a company in Finland, the Finland Steamship Company. I returned every summer, and I got a bigger job every summer, you know. And so I had really sort of a base on which to look at what was going on at Petrol Tonlin, which was my employer in Paris. And, you know, just like seeing, you know, in the morning the president comes in, and there are others waiting for the elevator, but they all let him go in by himself, you know, and then he closes the door and then he goes up and I'm standing there. Gee, you know, we could all have fit in. You know, I'm supposed to. in a way, you know, to have lunch with wine between 12 and 2. And so all the work has to be done before 12 o'clock, because after 2, well, it's a happy environment that you go back to. And so, again, something new. And it was that. And then, as luck would have it, the secretary of the president took pity on me, you know. And so we dated. And as a result, my French really improved very, very fast. But even that was sort of a unique experience in a way. And then to find that she was from a very traditional family, and she was very housebound by her parents, and you know, things that for me was just, gee, but you're a grown adult woman. I'm a little girl at home. And so that made kind of a different impression. And so this notion of having a base and then work in that environment, getting to know people, getting friends. And I remember asking about the possibility, you know, living in France. And I asked one of my French friends at work, you know, what he would suggest. So he said, well, Tours. I said, oh, well, is there an accent in Tours? No, there's no accent in Tours. And you know, that's again a kind of a revelation, and that's where King's French is spoken. While there are other parts in France which are just like our southern states, that there is a very marked you know, accent. So you kind of find out those kinds of things because you get to know people and you get into give and take discussions on a one-to-one basis.
How do you think ISEC, either being a member and having leadership opportunities or going on international traineeship, gives students a foot up when trying to enter the workforce?
Well, I think in both cases you are just different when you come back home, because you have been out on your own, you have made decisions on your own, you have discovered that you can exist by yourself, and as a result you handle yourself totally different. And actually I think that even just having the opportunity for leadership positions in an ISEC chapter without by chance being able to use an internship opportunity, that by itself is already a really great developmental experience. And so I've always advocated that don't worry about having to have an internship. Just enjoy ISEC for what it is, because you may actually be more valuable because of the effort that you are able to give over a longer period of time, and get some of your friends who will be going as interns abroad. And so in both cases it's an amazing difference that we see, who in a way have come to know you as students, and you're seeking your ways of handling yourself. Then you disappear, and then you come back. I remember we had an interesting incident. We have the system.